Let's start off with the Big Ten Championship. Number 1, Ohio State versus number 2, Indiana. 8 o'clock Eastern kickoff on Fox. Ohio State currently minus 4.5-point favorites with a total of 47.5. What a fantastic matchup on paper here, dude. IU's number 2 offense going against Ohio State's number 1 defense. Ohio State number 13 offense going up against IU's number 2 defense. I mean, opponent adjusted per play with pick six previews. He does his pick six plus throughout the season. You've got the number 1 and number 2 passing offenses in the country. Big question for me is, what will Indiana learn, if anything? Will they learn from their matchup with the Buckeyes a year ago? Those completely different teams, completely different schemes on defenses and offenses because they, turned over their, but like just kind of entering the game and little Indiana going up against the behemoth that is Ohio State. What will Cignetti and crew do to get their mindset right, to be like, we are not underdogs in this game like we were last year? I mean, they were what, 10.5, 11.5 last year in Columbus, like point underdogs. Yeah. So it's a solid 4.5-point spread neutral. Like that's a good game. So what can he get through to his guys? Like, let's fear no one. Like, we're not going to take a back seat in this game.
I think you can bank and count on that Curt Cignetti will not allow Indiana to go into this game and think that they should take a back seat to him, just like when they went to Oregon and had the attitude that they had going into that Oregon game. We talked about it we every time we talk about Indiana, we always bring this up. I'm going to pat us on the back again. We told everybody in the offseason that Indiana was going to be a better football team this year than they were last year. We did not know that would equate to an undefeated season or anything like that. But on paper, the talent that Indiana was going to put on the field this year, they were better. And that is because of Fernando Mendoza, the talent that he is. And I think that right there, that and the fact that Indiana upgraded their offensive line in the offseason, because in the 2 matchups that they lost last year against Notre Dame and against Ohio State, the 2 teams that eventually played for the national championship last year, the biggest matchup, like mismatch in those games, was Indiana's offensive line could not stand up against Ohio State or Notre Dame's defensive fronts. Like Ohio State, Indiana could not run the football. Curtis Rourke was basically, I think he was playing with a torn ACL last year and was not mobile at all. And he did amazing things for the Hoosiers last year. But Mendoza's legs and his ability to use his legs, he's not going to run around and be Michael Vick out there or anything like that. But the dude can move. He's got some feet and can move and make people miss and extend plays. Like if Ohio State does start getting a little bit of pressure, like Mendoza played on a team last year at Cal that was ranked 130th in sacks given up and 131st in tackles for a loss given up. He's used to playing on a team that can give up some pressures and still being able to succeed under pressure. So, but again, the way that Indiana runs that offense with that RPO, like this is going to be the best test by far that Ohio State has faced offensively this year. Because in the Big Ten, there's not like, I saw somebody today, man, saying that Ohio State's defense is like they faced a really good offense already and like with a really good quarterback in Illinois earlier this year. And I said, well, we're talking about the same team, but Indiana literally beat by half a hundy.
Yeah.
Like, come on. No. And I know that our boy out there at Washington and Jed Fish and that crew, they're solid offense, man. But they're not this Indiana offense. They're not as complete as this Indiana offense. So I'm really intrigued to see. That is where Cignetti's offense needs to be able to have success running the football to like that for that RPO to work. The first letter, the acronym of RPO, what does that stand for, Tyler?
Run.
They got to be able to run. And they need to be able to have success. Now, I don't think they need to be able to just they're not going to. Nobody's going to line up and just pound the football in Ohio State. Not going to happen.
Yeah.
But to be able to have just a little bit of success, to be able to keep them honest to the way have to respect the run. That'll be huge for Indiana in this game. To where they just can't just sit back and key on all you can do is throw the football. Even like a 3-yard run is major success against this Buckeye defense, just to be able to keep them honest. And dude, it's a freaking number 1 versus number 2. Your best players have to make plays, man.
Yeah.
Elijah Surratt and Omar Cooper Jr. and Fernando Mendoza and those backs have to step up and be great if they want to slay the giant in Ohio State.
Yeah. What's interesting to me is that Ohio State, they play at the slowest pace of any Power 4 team. They average 31.8 seconds per play. Indiana's 62nd out of 68 at 29.4 seconds per play. And why that's important is that these teams, again, they rank 1 and 2 in nearly everything. They're first and second in third down conversions. Both of them are converting 55% of their third downs on offense. And
Golly.
they're separated by 0.06%. So Ohio State's 1, Indiana's 2. So the offenses play slow and they extend drives and they're able to just lean on you in the second half. Like Ohio State has had some close games at half against Michigan, against Penn State. And then second half, they just obliterate people. And then Indiana has had semi-close games against Maryland, in the first half. And then you turn on the TV and it's 55-10 all of a sudden in the second half. Which defense rises up and gets some crucial stops, especially in the first half, to allow the offense to kind of get some momentum, build some momentum for the whole team? Because again, they're both top 5 in opponent third down conversion rate too. So it's, the immovable object versus the whatever force or unstoppable force. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's just for me, man, it's just hard to think that anybody's going to have a lot of success against this Buckeye defense at this point. But there is that factor for me. Do you remember back when we were talking about when Ole Miss played at Oklahoma? And
Mhm.
we were breaking down all the numbers that Oklahoma defensively, the sacks, the tackles for a loss, they were number 1 in about every single category. But we talked about how Ole Miss's offense and that Lane Kiffin and Charlie Weiss Jr. offense with Winnedad, Chambliss, and that crew was going to be by far the best offense that Oklahoma had faced at that point. So we were going to find out, is Oklahoma's defense literally just, are they elite against everybody, or are they really good against just beating up on offenses that aren't elite? And Ole Miss's offense just lit it up on them. So Ohio State's defense is elite. I think we can all agree with that.
Yeah.
But what I want to see is what are they going to look like against one of the better offenses in college football?
And we've seen IU's offense go up against some pretty solid defenses.
Like Oregon's defense is legit. And Indiana handled them.
Iowa's always legit.
Iowa's defense. Are you talking about Iowa's offense? You thought you were making a joke.
Iowa's
there.
defense is always legit.
Yeah, Iowa's defense is legit, and they slowed Indiana down. They did. They slowed Indiana down in that game. So Ohio State's defense is going to have success. I don't think Indiana is just going to light Ohio State up. Where Indiana can win this game is they cannot, the margin for error to beat a team as good as Ohio State is so thin, razor thin. You can't make mistakes. Last year, the punt return to Caleb Downs. I think they even got a punt blocked, if I'm not mistaken, or something.
Yeah, punt blocked or muffed punt, something like that. Yeah,
Yeah, it was something where they snapped it over the
miscues.
punter's head, something like that. Like mistakes
Yep.
like that cannot happen, because that makes a game go from, if those two plays don't happen last year, Indiana loses the game probably by 7 in Columbus. But those plays did happen. That's part of the game. Ohio State didn't make those mistakes. Indiana did, and Ohio State ended up winning and going away with it. Indiana can't make those kind of mistakes, cannot have the catastrophic mistakes, can't have the turnovers. Mendoza can't go out there in the fourth quarter and throw a pick 6 and then expect to just come back and win against a team that's this good.
Yeah.
It's this damn good. Like Ohio State, if you make those mistakes, they will make you pay. And then you, with your defense, who, by the way, I know everybody's going to talk about the Buckeye defense going into this game. How many people do you think this week are going to talk about Bryant Haynes and the Indiana Hoosier defense?
That's exactly the way Bryant Haynes wants it.
Agreed, 100%. Just like when they went to Oregon.
Yep.
Just like when they went to Oregon. And that is where Indiana can that is the side of the ball, man, that has to. They have to find a way to slow that Buckeye train down.
Yeah, I mean, on the outside, you got the wide receivers and the cornerbacks. You got Pons and Terrell versus Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith. Like,
Yeah.
we're going to give Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate the advantage over any college cornerbacks. I mean, even Leonard Moore and Christian Gray and those guys, like they did last year. I would maybe even put them up against a lot of DBs in the NFL because
Yeah,
those are NFL
absolutely.
type wide receivers, right?
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
on the other side, like you were talking about with Elijah Surratt and Omar Cooper Jr. and EJ Williams, if he plays, even Charlie Becker, if he gets in the game, right? That's a lot coming at you. We know Davison Igbinosun is prone to commit some penalties like he did last week, like he did a ton last year. We know that secondary is solid. You got Caleb Downs roaming around back there, but to me, for Ohio State's defense, it comes down to can the D line get pressure as always, but it comes down to like how big of a game wrecker is Arvell Reese in the middle because
Oh,
that dude
he's an
is
alien.
possibly the first defensive player. He might be the first player picked in the draft next year, but for sure the first defensive player off the board in the NFL draft next year.
Yep.
And just how much impact can he have on the game?
Yep. For Indiana has to be able to like they can't allow Ohio State just to be like balanced in the game and to be able to do run and throw. They've got to take away something.
Yeah,
So obviously they've got to be able to slow down that running game. Ohio State's offensive line has been really good here lately, and Indiana needs to be able to try to find a way to get pressure on Sayin, and they need to slow down that running game. And if they can do that, I mean, I know that Ohio State is again, they've got obviously to go to those this it's not just, you still got, Ennis and you've got Max Clare and the tight ends there for Ohio State. They've got weapons everywhere. But you've got to be able to try to take away something. Indiana's got to be able to and they did fine defensively last year
yeah,
against Ohio State.
yeah.
It was the fourth quarter when the dam kind of broke. But they
Well,
didn't.
Ryan Day punched in that touchdown with 30 seconds left, and then they had the
Yeah.
Caleb Downs punt return. So really, save for that last touchdown, you gave up 24 points to that offense last year. That's nothing to hold your head about. But you know me, I love in games like this that are really tight, especially we'll look at in the playoff games is like the intangibles. You
Mhm.
talk about mistakes, right? Indiana is number one in the country in turnover margin. Okay. They
Oof.
take the ball away way more than they give it away. Ohio State's only 50th. Okay. Indiana is one of the least penalized teams in the country. They're like fourth in the country in penalties per game.
So what you're
That
saying is they're well coached.
they're very well coached. I think that's where again the intangibles, all three phases of the game. I think that is where they can have the advantage over Ohio State.
Do you think there's any distraction at all with Brian Hartline leaving?
I
Probably
don't
not.
think so.
But that culture, they're so good at Ohio State that they're just, and with again, Ryan Day is such a he may be calling some plays for all we know. We don't know. I mean, Hartline may be calling every play. Ryan Day may be calling some
Yeah,
plays. We don't know. But with Ryan Day being as good as he is as an offensive coach and an offensive mind anyway, I'm with you. I don't think that's going to matter, especially when the game kicks off. I don't think that matters at
yeah.
all.
So if Ohio State wins this game, okay, they're 13-0, they're number one in the country, blah blah blah. What does it do for you if Indiana wins this game?
There's still so many people out there, the casuals, the casual nation, it still does not respect Indiana enough for what they are. There's some that came on over on the Hoosier train when they went to Oregon and beat Oregon, but even then, I don't think that really still got people's attention as much as obviously this would. This would be, yeah, everybody in all of college football. There would be a lot of people that would be shocked. I won't be one of them, but there will be a lot of people that will be shocked. Like, cannot believe it if Indiana would beat Ohio State in this game. And so, what you're saying, what it would do for them? I mean, it would beyond work wonders for them, man. As far as like the respect from the rest of the country or whatnot,
Mhm.
I just don't think that they give a shit about it. I just think that Signetti and that crew just wants to go out and handle their business and take care of business, and they want to go win a Big Ten championship and just show Ohio State that they're at the same level that they are uh, on that field Saturday night.
All right, you ready for game picks?
Let's do it.
All right. I think like most of these teams' games, or not most, but like a lot of the Ohio State games that we watched that are worth watching, and Indiana games that are worth watching, I think it's very, very close in the first half. I think it's very close at halftime. For me, though, it's until you slay the dragon. It's hard. It's hard for me, man. Like I think Ohio State pulls away in the second half, and not by away. I mean, like I'm calling for a 26-20 victory,
Okay.
Buckeyes. I think the Buckeyes will get it done. I think a 26-20 victory for Ohio State is certainly enough to keep Indiana in that top 4, maybe even top 3. Um, and I think both teams come out of it and they end up looking good. I mean, all we can hope for is that both teams come out of it healthy because they got a playoff run to contend with. So I think it'll be a really good game, though.
My score prediction is Ohio State 27, Indiana 20. So we're
All
right
right.
there. We're right there, man. Yeah, I think Indiana's going to give them all they want, and I agree. I think Ohio State will. Man, they're just too talented, too good on both sides of the ball, too well coached. I don't think Indiana has to take a major backseat to them by any means. I just think that Ohio State has too many answers for each question.
Yeah.
Whatever question you have, they've got an answer for it. Like I said earlier, Indiana has to be able to take something away. I don't think you're going to be able to take away that passing game and how good Julian Sayin has been and efficient that he has been. That's exactly what they need. They don't need him to go be, the greatest of all time. They just need him to go be accurate and distribute the football and be a point guard to all those elite athletes around him. And he's done that and more this year for them. And I just don't know how Indiana for 4 quarters is yeah, okay, yeah, they slow down the running game. Okay, what are you going to do then with all of those this freak aliens that they've got everywhere running around in the secondary that are against your secondary that are catching passes? How
Yeah.
are you going to stop that passing game? And that defense is just so freaking good. And Matt Patricia has been so good all year long that I don't think that Indiana will be able to have enough success running the football, and I think they need to have success running the ball for them to be able to have enough success offensively. So I'm going to take Ohio State 27-20 in this game, and it'll be a fantastic game Saturday night to sit back and watch, my man.
We'll be back on Sunday, noon Eastern. It's the college football playoff reveal. We're trying to get some stuff worked out we're obviously going to be live on our YouTube channel and on our X. We're trying to get some stuff worked out with some other people and some other folks to try to get some, multiple streams going here. So stay tuned for that. Again, like Lance said, follow us on X, Instagram, TikTok. Post out all that information on X. We'll let you guys know as soon as we know something on a Sunday. So we'll be back for that. And then after that, we'll just kind of start prepping for some of these first round games. So really that's it for us right now. Conference previews, our conference championship preview is always a good episode. It's always fun to just dive deep on just a couple matchups here and don't have like 6 or 7 matchups to focus on. So really hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, timestamps are in the episode description. If you want to just click on any of the championships you want to watch, they are right there below. So again, for Lance Barton, I'm Tyler Noe. Take care. Have a great rest of your day, and we will see you next time.